What's up, guys? So today I want to talk to you about investing money. So for a lot of people that means different things. To some people that doesn't mean a lot because they don't know what it is, they don't understand it. If that's you, just stick with me. I'm going to try to get through this and explain it in fairly simple terms. I really do think it is a more simple thing than most people realize. It's not as scary as you think. It's not as complicated as you think. And if you just start making some moves, you can end up on top. I've been doing this for a while, and recently, over the last year or so, I've really been trying to ramp it up because I see that there's so much opportunity over the last year and coming now because things have changed so much. There's a lot of new opportunities and a lot of money to be made for those who jump on those opportunities. So that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today, because we're going through a very pivotal time in our history right now, obviously. A lot of things have changed and are going to continue to change in ways that we can't even comprehend right now. So the two things that I'm doing right now mainly are investing in stocks and investing in cryptocurrencies. If you recall, recently there was a lot of talk about Redditors, it's an internet forum if you don't know what Reddit is, but Wall Street Bets specifically, which was one of the little sub forums on there, these people would go and buy these stocks that they knew that the hedge funds were short selling, and they would buy them up to force the hedge funds out to drive the price up of, GameStop or Blockbuster. There was a few, but basically what it did more than anything, it has cast a lot of spotlight on the stock market. Friends of mine have been asking me about it ever since this started, because it's, people see GameStop, they see Reddit, they see all these millennials jumping in the stock market, they get excited and they're like, oh, we can make some money. Well, you can also lose a lot of money doing risky stuff like that. So that's kind of why I want to explain to you how to do it the right way, how to do it as safe as possible. There's always a risk to investing. But the strategy that I'm going to outline for you is going to be a little bit safer. It's what I've been doing for years. So the first thing that we can kind of talk about is the stock market. If you look back, on a yearly average, the stock market has about a 10% rate of return. That means, it doesn't literally mean obviously, but it means if you put $1,000 in the stock market, you'll make $100 on that over the course of a year, right? That's before inflation. So realistically, you're looking at more like 7%, something like that. But that's great. That's a great return on investment for a long-term investment like that. If you're putting it into a savings account or something like that, you're making a few dimes if you're lucky. Savings accounts are just really, in my opinion, kind of pointless. With the stock market, you're not guaranteed that 7 or 10% obviously every year, but you get pretty consistent results after, doing it for a few years, 5-10 years or so. That's kind of what I've seen. That's how long I've been doing it, and been seeing a pretty consistent, actually a little bit better than that, return on my money, which is great. But obviously there's going to be some rough patches. There's going to be recessions. There's going to be things like inflation really drive stock prices down. That's one thing we'll talk about a little bit more later in the video. But I want to move ahead real quick. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency. So this is something that I don't have as much experience with. I've been probably listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos, I would say about 3 hours a day lately for the past couple months, just learning about this cryptocurrency, because I've heard of Bitcoin. I've been hearing about it for a while, never really jumped on it. I saw that some people did years ago and made a lot of money. Then I saw it crashed. People lost a lot of money. And some people have just been holding on since the beginning. And if they have, well, they probably made millions of dollars now. But the point I want to make is there's still a lot of opportunity. We're still not even really in the adoption phase yet of Bitcoin and what it has the potential to do and what it has the potential to be. And the more I learn about cryptocurrency, I really just see it as the future, not just of currency, because it's really technology. It's a lot more than just currency. Can it replace the dollar? Can it replace fiat money? Yeah, definitely. It can be safer, it can be more valuable, it can be a lot of things. But really, a lot of people have been hearing about it lately in the news or whatever. It's been getting a lot of attention because basically two main events have happened with Bitcoin specifically. So it kind of goes on a cycle, and every 4 years Bitcoin goes through a process called the halving, like cutting something in half. What they're doing is they're cutting the production essentially of Bitcoin in half. So Bitcoin is not like money where you can just print it infinitely. Of course, it's going to lose value as you do that, as we're seeing. But you can't do that with Bitcoin. There's a set amount that is built into the technology. That's once we reach that amount, once that amount of Bitcoin is out into the world, that's it. That's not going to happen for another, I think it's over 100 years. But the point is, when it goes through this 4-year halving cycle, the price always goes up, because basically it means that less Bitcoin is being released out into the world. So it makes it more valuable because there's less of an influx of this coming in for people to buy or to trade for. So that was one of the events that's been going on and really drove the price of Bitcoin up, which of course drove the attention to Bitcoin. And another thing that's kind of working alongside that right now is the inflation of the US dollar that we're seeing, which really is inevitable with all these stimulus packages and the fact that the economy is just in this very volatile state right now. Now, I was talking to someone the other day. They didn't even realize that the stimulus money was money that's just being printed. It's not, tax money that they've scraped together from, all of us paying our taxes. You would think ideally that's what they would do, but they've not done any of that. Instead, they've just printed new money, put money into people's pockets the only way that they can, which is printing it. The problem this creates is as there's more of something, it becomes less valuable. So we're starting to see some inflation, and as fiat money, the US dollar, etc., becomes less valuable, cryptocurrency, gold, things that have a finite supply become more valuable. That's always been the case with gold, because it's considered to have a finite supply. It's not 100% true in theory. People discover more gold, but as a whole, there's less gold in circulation, or less value of gold in circulation than there is dollars. So people who want to kind of hedge against inflation would traditionally buy gold or other assets that don't depreciate as much. You have inflation yearly, but we're expecting to see a lot more because of what's happened with the stimulus, because of what's happened with the economy, COVID, etc. We're expecting to see a lot more of that. That's not only going to drive the value of the dollar down, but it's going to affect the stock market as well. The stock market's not going to do as well when the economy's not doing well, when the dollar's not doing well. So what I've started to do recently is I've gotten away from stocks that I think will just increase in value, because that's not really a safe bet when the market as a whole is declining. So what I'm doing now with stocks instead is buying dividend stocks, which they basically pay you a small percentage of the stock every quarter or every year just to hold the stock. So you're getting a pretty guaranteed payment instead of hoping that things will appreciate in value, because at this point they may not. But anyway, we'll talk more in depth about stocks later. The main point I want to just drive home with this is that we're going through a lot of changes right now. A lot of people are sitting around thinking we're at the tail end of this pandemic and things are going to go back to normal. Well, sadly, the pre-COVID normal that we were used to is probably not ever going to come back. We're going to see a lot of changes. A lot of the things that have taken place over the course of the last year are not going to be reversible. Inflation, for example. Companies have kind of pivoted their whole marketing and service structures around these COVID precautions that we've had to take, things like that. So as all these changes have been taking place, companies, people who are really having to think about the future more, have been looking at cryptocurrencies as a way to hedge against inflation, but also as the future, essentially. All the technology and opportunities that provides. Imagine that you had the opportunity to invest in the internet. A lot of people thought that was crazy at first, but if you had invested back then in the internet, or even take a company like Amazon, you'd be looking at millions of dollars right now. That's essentially the opportunity that a lot of us are seeing with cryptocurrency. So what I want to do is kind of explain how this stuff works, why there's an opportunity, and how to invest in it. So the first thing I'm going to show you is an app that I'm using called Voyager. This is the Voyager website. You can see right away, earn up to 10% interest APR. There's a few other services like this, including BlockFi, which I really like. But if I had to pick just one, I would say definitely Voyager. Their interest rates are as good or better than some of the other guys. They also have a lot better selection than some of the other services. And you also get basically instant deposits. You're not having to wait 3 to 5 days for an ACH transfer like you would with BlockFi. So I really like Voyager. They do only have an app right now, which is why it's showing you got to put your phone number in to get the text to download the app. I've heard that they have a desktop version in progress, which personally I would prefer, but most people just use apps for everything nowadays anyway. So back to the interest for a second, I'm going to show you. These are the different interest rates that you get on the different cryptos. The first one you can see is USDC. So that's something a little different. That's basically what's called a stable coin. And it's a crypto, but it's tied to another asset, in this case, the US dollar. So basically what that means is if you put $100 into USDC, then you're going to have 100 USDC, and it's not going to change. You're going to get 9% interest on that, but it can't go down like another crypto or stock could go down in value. Obviously, that's not accounting for inflation, but that's neither here nor there. So if you want to diversify your portfolio, obviously you're not going to have the high returns or any returns really except for the interest on USDC. But if you want to diversify your portfolio a little bit, have a bit of a safety net, that's definitely a good option, probably one I'll be using myself. Anyway, you can see Bitcoin 6.25%, Ethereum 5.25%, etc., anywhere between 2 to 8% on the cryptos. Which is awesome because you're not going to get anywhere near that from a bank in a savings account or anything like that. This interest is also being paid out monthly, which is awesome. You're getting that extra money in that account every month. So it's basically compounding interest. With the prospect of cryptos going up substantially, plus the interest that you're getting, I think this is really an amazing opportunity. These interest rates are going to go down over time. Make no mistake about that. As they get more clients, they're not going to have to entice people with such great interest rates. But for now, it's definitely worth taking advantage of it. Why wouldn't you? Another cool thing about Voyager is they have a referral program. If you use my referral code in the description below, you will get $25 worth of Bitcoin when you sign up. Then you can do the same thing with other people, and as you get those people to sign up, you'll also get $25 in Bitcoin. Another good thing about the referral is I used somebody's referral code when I did it, so I could get the $25 free Bitcoin, obviously, but it also let me kind of get to the front of the line because there is essentially a waiting line to even get on this platform right now. It should take about a day. That's about what it took me to get approved. But without the referral code, I've heard of people waiting 5 to 7 days, which really sucks. So use that referral code. We'll both get some free crypto. and you can get started investing in Bitcoin and some of these cool altcoins. The other thing I'm going to show you here is Robinhood. This is the broker I use currently. I've pretty much switched over completely to just using Robinhood. I was using TD Ameritrade for the last several years, but as I started using Robinhood more and more, which I initially started because they were the first ones to offer commission-free trading. I used to have to pay to make any kind of trade, which was pretty annoying. But I started using Robinhood. I really like the app. It's really beginner friendly. They also have a referral program. Use my code, you'll get some free stocks. I'll get some free stocks. Everybody wins. And then we can make money together. Even if you're just putting a couple $100, you're getting those free stocks, those free cryptos. That'll get you started investing your money and making some more money. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. What I would suggest right away is to go and open these accounts. It's always easy to put stuff off, but if you just open the accounts, you can get started. You get that free stock, you get that free Bitcoin, you put a little bit of money in there, and you can start to move it around once you feel comfortable and understand a little bit more. So in the next videos, we'll talk a little bit more about using Voyager and Robinhood and how to get some money invested. But go ahead and open that account as soon as possible, because things are going to be moving very quickly over the course of the next few months. The longer you wait, the more opportunity you're going to miss. Remember, this is not financial advice. You should always do your own research before making any investment. So go ahead and hit that like button for me. Subscribe to this channel. I'm going to start uploading more videos. I'm going to show you step by step how to invest in crypto, how to invest in stocks, and how to make money. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.